How a woman starts missing you after you walk away. Psychology tricks. Distance teaches what closeness cannot. Unknown. When you step back, you don't just leave a room, you lift your weight out of her world. Your presence, your steadiness, that quiet center she oriented around, gone. And what moves in is new to her. The quiet, the gap, the ache. A lot of men think the fix is more texts, more talks, more convincing. They assume love responds to volume and effort. But here's the psychological truth. Absence often communicates more powerfully than attention. A woman begins to miss you when she encounters the space you used to occupy. When the calm, grounded energy you brought is no longer there. Contrast does the work you couldn't do by chasing. Recognition lands not while you pursue, but when you stop pursuing. In a moment, we'll break down 9 real psychological dynamics that make her feel your loss, not because you forced it, but because you finally let distance do what words can't. 1. The scarcity effect. When you disappear, you become more valuable. When you walk away from a woman, something fascinating happens inside her mind, a real play of female psychology. It's what experts call the scarcity effect. The truth is simple yet brutal. People value what they can't easily have. The more you chase, text, call, or try to prove your worth, the less she feels drawn to you. Why? Because you've made yourself too available, too predictable. Don't do that. Be the man who knows his worth. Be the man who walks away with quiet confidence. That is the kind of man a woman starts to miss. Think about it. When something is always within reach, we take it for granted. It's just human nature. You don't appreciate air until you're gasping for it. You don't treasure water until you're thirsty. The same rule applies in love. This is one of the oldest psychology tricks in the book. You must understand how female psychology works. Absence creates desire, and distance creates curiosity. Imagine this. You've got an expensive watch you wear every single day. At first, you admire it. Then one day, it just becomes part of you. You don't even notice it anymore. But lose it for a week, and suddenly, your mind won't shut up about it. You remember the shine, the weight, the feel on your wrist. You miss it like crazy. That's exactly how it works when a woman starts missing you. When you pull back, when you stop showing up, when your presence becomes rare, she starts remembering what you brought into her life. Don't call. Don't text. Don't check her social media. Silence speaks louder than words. It's not a game. It's psychology tricks at work. Your absence forces her to confront the void you left behind. She starts asking herself questions. Why hasn't he called? Did he move on? Is he with someone else? That's when the longing begins. Men often sabotage themselves by refusing to give space. They panic. They beg. They try to remind her of the good times. Big mistake. When you do that, she doesn't have to miss you. She already knows you're still there, waiting like a puppy. Don't be that man. Be the one who vanishes with purpose. Be the one who lets her imagination do the heavy lifting. That is power. That is how to fall in love again, not by chasing, but by being missed. Remember this. Emotional distance triggers emotional hunger. That's not manipulation. It's simply understanding female psychology. When your presence becomes scarce, your value multiplies. She begins to replay your laughter, your voice, the things you did that no one else does. She starts to realize what she lost. You didn't have to convince her, your silence did. That's the beauty of the scarcity effect. It turns your absence into her obsession. So don't rush to fill the silence. Let it work for you. Let her feel it. Let her wonder. Because the moment she realizes you're not begging for her attention, that's the moment she starts missing you more than ever. Be the man who understands this game of psychology tricks, the kind of man who knows that sometimes walking away is not the end. It's the beginning of her how to fall in love story all over again. 2. The emotional void, when your energy is gone. Every high-value man carries something rare. It's not his looks or his money. It's his energy, calm, confidence, steady. That's masculine energy. It's the invisible force that makes a woman feel grounded, safe, and emotionally full when you're near. She might not be able to explain it, but she feels it deeply. Then one day, you walk away, and that energy, your presence, disappears. Suddenly, she feels something she didn't expect: emptiness. That's when the emotional void begins. The truth is, women rarely understand how much your presence means until it's gone. Think about this. A man used to send her a good night text every evening. Just 2 words, but they made her feel cared for. When he stopped, she told herself it didn't matter. But the next night, she still checked her phone, waiting for a message that never came. Not because she needed it, but because she had grown used to the comfort it gave her. That small ritual had quietly tied her emotions to his masculine energy. When he pulled away, that emotional rhythm broke, and the silence hit harder than any argument ever could. That's why silence is powerful. It's not manipulation, it's emotional gravity. When you step back, her mind starts racing. Is he thinking of me? Did I push him away? Has he moved on? Each unanswered question plants a seed of longing. Your absence creates space, and that space becomes the stage where missing you starts to grow. When a man walks away with calm strength, he doesn't leave chaos. He leaves a void. And that void becomes the loudest reminder of what she's lost. Be that man. Don't chase. Don't explain. Don't beg to be seen. A high-value man never argues for his worth. He shows it in his composure. He walks away with quiet confidence, knowing his energy speaks for him. That is masculine energy. That is what truly attracts women. When you withdraw with grace, you don't punish her. You simply stop feeding the connection that once fueled her emotions. The irony? That's exactly what reignites her desire. Because she no longer feels your warmth, your attention, your focus. She begins to crave the very presence she once took for granted. So remember this: when your energy is gone, your silence does the talking. You're not ignoring her. You're letting her feel the absence of what once made her feel secure. And trust me, she'll notice. Because it's not the words or the gestures she misses, it's the man behind them. The calm, confident presence that once made her world feel complete. Be that man who knows his worth, who doesn't need to be loud to be felt. Because when you walk away with strength, your silence becomes your most powerful statement. And that's when she truly starts missing you. 3. Psychological reactance. When she loses control, she starts wanting it back. Men, listen closely. This is the law of human nature. People crave control. The moment you walk away, you strip her of the power she once held over you. That's when psychological reactance kicks in, the deep, primal urge to reclaim what's been lost. Women might never say it out loud, but every woman loves to be desired, admired, and pursued. When you chase, she relaxes. She feels safe, thinking he'll always come back. But when your footsteps fade and your messages stop, a quiet storm begins inside her mind. She starts to wonder. She starts to doubt. She starts to miss the control. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's Old Stoic wisdom, and it still wins today. When you step back, she starts stepping forward. Suddenly, the woman who ignored you begins to accidentally text first or likes your posts like she's testing the waters. It's not love yet, it's control she's craving. But that's the first spark. You must understand, the strong man never needs to announce his worth. He doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He shows his value through silence. The weaker man speaks too much. The stronger man lets his absence speak louder. That's Stoicism in action, the iron mind that wins in the end. Don't react. Don't explain. Don't break the silence. Every time you stay calm, you increase your value in her eyes. Every second of your distance forces her to feel what losing you really means. The man who controls his emotions controls the game. That's how Stoicism wins, not through force, but through self-command. In today's world of instant messages and quick dopamine, walking away is an act of rebellion. Everyone wants attention. Few can handle silence. The man who can hold silence is the man who holds power. Let her feel your absence. Let her face the mirror of her own thoughts. As Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Be that man. Be unshakable. Be composed. Be the storm that doesn't move. That's the essence of Old Stoic wisdom, staying calm while the world panics around you. Remember, when you stop chasing, she starts chasing. Not because her love suddenly deepened, but because her mind cannot bear the loss of control. That's the moment your energy shifts. She senses it. She feels the weight of your silence and the strength of your detachment. You've become the prize. You've become the challenge. And every instinct inside her wants to win back the control she once took for granted. Don't give it easily. Don't rush back. Don't destroy the lesson your silence is teaching. Let time work for you. Let mystery grow. Let absence create desire. Men, this is your battlefield, not against her, but against your own impulses. Control the need to call. Control the urge to explain. Master yourself, and you master the game. That's Stoicism win. That's the iron mind forged in self-discipline. You must walk away like a king, not a beggar. You must embody peace, not panic. You must let her feel what it means to lose a man who knows his worth. Victory doesn't come from chasing, it comes from standing still with power. Don't doubt. Don't chase. Don't fold. Hold the line. Let her come to you. That's how old Stoic wisdom turns silence into strength and distance into desire. That's how you win, like a man who's already free. If you found this valuable, like, share, and subscribe for more powerful psychology and relationship insights. Comment to remember, I attract through self-control. 4. The selective memory effect, when time turns you into a beautiful memory. Time has this strange, almost poetic way of rewriting the past. When you walk away from a woman, her mind doesn't cling to the fights, the tension, or the words that cut deep. It quietly edits them out. That's not magic, that's female psychology at work. It's what I like to call the selective memory effect. Time plays its favorite game. It dulls the pain but polishes the pleasure. Even if you two went to emotional war after a few weeks, her brain starts to forget why she slammed the door that night. What lingers instead are the mornings you brewed her coffee, the warmth of your arms when she was cold, the way your laughter made her forget the world for a second. That's how psychology tricks sneak in. Her subconscious starts highlighting your best moments, not your worst. You see, the longer you stay gone, the more her mind becomes your biggest ally. It starts doing the heavy lifting for you. Don't rush to fix things with a desperate text or a midnight call. Be still. Be patient. Be smart. Because time, my friend, is doing what no apology could ever do. It's slowly turning you from the man she left into the man she misses. That's how female psychology works. It doesn't crave logic. It craves emotion. She won't miss your words. She'll miss your presence. She won't remember what made her angry. She'll remember the look in your eyes when you looked at her like she was the only woman in the world. That's when she starts to ache, not for who you were in the fight, but for who you were in her heart. And that ache? It grows. Every time she hears a song that reminds her of you, every time she passes a coffee shop you once visited, every time her phone stays silent a little too long, it pulls her deeper into that soft nostalgia. That's not weakness. That's the psychology of attraction. That's how to fall in love works all over again, even when you're gone. Don't ruin it by chasing. Don't talk. Don't explain. Let silence do the talking. Be the memory that lingers, not the man who begs. That's power. Because here's the truth. When the good memories start to outweigh the bad, her emotions will betray her. The very woman who swore she was done with you will suddenly find herself wondering what you're doing, who you're with, and if you ever think about her. That's the beauty of emotional contrast. Her mind can't help but rewrite the story. It starts to romanticize you. And once that happens, she'll start missing you, not because she wants to, but because she can't stop. That's how psychology tricks flip the game. You become not the man she left, but the man she dreams about at night. The man she can't quite forget, even when she tries. So don't rush. Don't chase. Don't try to talk her into missing you. Let time and distance seduce her for you. Be the silence that echoes in her mind. Be the memory that feels like home. Because when her heart finally catches up to her mind, she won't remember the pain. She'll remember the peace. And that right there is when she falls in love again, only this time, without you lifting a finger. 5. The social comparison effect, when she realizes no one matches your energy. After you walk away, her world doesn't stop. It keeps spinning. She goes out with friends, meets new people, maybe even starts dating someone new. At first, it feels exciting, fresh faces, new attention, the illusion of freedom. She laughs louder, posts more, acts like she's over you. But deep inside, a quiet whisper starts to rise. He's not like him. That's the social comparison effect, the natural human instinct to measure what we have against what we had. And when she starts comparing every new man to you, that's when the missing begins. Picture this. She's sitting across from a new guy. He's nice, polite, maybe even successful. Everything seems right. But when he laughs, it's not your laugh. When he talks, he doesn't look her in the eyes the way you did. He's there, but not present. And when the night ends, she smiles out of courtesy. Yet deep down, something feels off, empty. Because no matter how good this new man is, he doesn't make her feel the same. He doesn't bring that fire, that calm, that masculine energy you had. You see, what she truly misses isn't just your company, it's your presence. You didn't just fill space in her life. You brought weight, substance, a sense of emotional depth that most men can't fake. You were real. You were grounded. You were a high-value man, confident, self-assured, and unbothered by validation. You didn't chase. You didn't beg. You didn't try to be perfect. You just were. And that's what she remembers. Your calm voice when things got tense. The steady way you looked at her, not needy, but knowing. Your quiet confidence that said, I don't need to prove myself. That's what made her feel secure, seen, and desired. And that's what no other man has given her since you walked away. As time passes, she'll meet more men. Some will be funny, some charming, some attentive. But one by one, they'll all fall short. Every conversation, every moment, every touch becomes a silent comparison. And in that comparison, she keeps losing you all over again, not because you were flawless, but because you were authentic. Here's the truth. Most women need to meet a few nice guys to realize what a real man feels like. That's when the regret sets in. That's when she finally understands that what she had with you wasn't common. It was rare. By the time that realization hits, it's too late. So don't look back. Don't chase her. Don't try to make her remember. Let your absence speak. Be the high-value man who knows his worth and doesn't lower his standards. Be the one who walks away with strength, peace, and purpose. Because when you hold your ground, she'll feel it, that deep contrast between you and every man who tries to replace you. That's when she finally understands the truth. No one matches your energy. No one carries that steady, confident masculine energy that once made her heart race. And that's when missing you turns into something stronger, regret that lasts. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. 6. The mystery and silence effect, when imagination becomes your greatest ally. Silence is a man's sharpest sword. Most men waste their power explaining, chasing, or proving their worth. But the wise man, the one guided by Old Stoic wisdom, knows that silence speaks louder than words. When you stop reaching out, stop explaining, stop reacting, something powerful begins to happen. Her mind starts working overtime. The human brain despises uncertainty. It demands answers. And when you disappear into silence, she's forced to create her own story. Is he seeing someone else? Has he moved on? Does he even care anymore? That's the moment her imagination becomes your greatest ally. Suddenly, you are not just a man she dated. You're a mystery she can't solve. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your absence becomes the canvas her mind paints on. Each unanswered question becomes a stroke of desire, curiosity, and longing. Let's be clear, silence is not weakness, it's power in its purest form. In today's noisy world of constant notifications, fast replies, and endless validation, a man who can walk away calmly and stay silent is a rare breed. That man radiates control, not chaos. He has an iron mind, forged through self-mastery and discipline. When you go silent, you don't vanish, you evolve. You rise above the noise and show her that your worth doesn't depend on her attention. That is Stoicism win. That is what makes her wonder what she lost. She will check your social media, scroll through your photos, try to decode your stillness. She might pretend she's fine, but her curiosity grows stronger each day. The less you say, the more she thinks about you. The more mysterious you become, the more attractive you get. Mystery triggers imagination. Imagination fuels emotion. And emotion, gentlemen, is what brings her back mentally long before she ever sends that text again. Don't chase validation. Don't explain your silence. Let her imagination do the work. You must understand, what she can't see, she starts to crave. What she can't control, she starts to desire. That's the paradox of detachment. The more you pull back, the stronger your presence becomes in her mind. It's the man who stays quiet that she remembers in the dark. As Nietzsche said, silence is worse. All truths that are kept silent become poisonous. But here's the twist. This silence doesn't poison her. It awakens her. It makes her question. It makes her regret. It makes her realize. When you stop reacting, she starts remembering. When you stop chasing, she starts imagining. When you stop explaining, she starts missing. That's how a man reclaims control, not by shouting louder, but by mastering the art of restraint. Let's remind ourselves of what the Old Stoic wisdom teaches. Strength lies not in what you say, but in what you choose not to say. In modern life, where weakness hides behind constant talking, the man with an iron mind who practices Stoicism becomes unshakable. Be that man. Don't beg for attention, command it through presence. Don't fight for validation, earn it through silence. Don't fear her forgetting you. Trust that your calm absence will remind her of everything she lost. The man who walks away in silence doesn't lose. He wins twice, once in his peace and once in her mind. Remember this, when you go quiet, you're not disappearing, you're planting yourself in her thoughts. You're giving her the space to feel your absence, to remember your strength, and to imagine your life without her in it. That is the ultimate power of Stoicism win. That is the way of the iron mind. That is how imagination becomes your greatest ally. 7. Your self-worth grows, and she starts seeing it too. When a man stops chasing, everything shifts, not just in her thoughts, but in his whole energy. He moves from craving approval to radiating confidence. He becomes the validation he once sought. That's where real power lives. Be that man who doesn't beg for attention, who doesn't need to prove a point, who walks with quiet authority. Don't underestimate how female psychology works. Women feel energy long before they analyze words. They sense when a man values his time, guards his peace, and lives with purpose. That calm, self-assured energy is irresistible. This isn't about manipulation or cheap psychology tricks. It's about transformation. Be steady. Be intentional. That is how to fall in love with your own strength again. Imagine this. Months later, she sees you somewhere, a friend's party, a cafe, a random event. You're not bitter, you're not cold, you're just composed. You smile, speak clearly, laugh easily, and then you leave, not to prove anything, but because your night, your goals, your peace matter more. That one effortless moment lingers in her mind. Why? Because she realizes you didn't fall apart, you evolved. You didn't chase, you chose. You didn't lose her, you found yourself. That realization cuts deep, because now she's seeing the man she took for granted through new eyes. Female psychology is wired for contrast. The man who once chased her is now unattached, unbothered, unavailable in all the right ways. Don't fake it, live it. Be that man who doesn't need attention because his purpose gives him focus. You must understand that attraction doesn't come from begging, it comes from becoming. When you stop chasing her, you start chasing your best self. When you chase your best self, she starts remembering why she was drawn to you in the first place. That's not luck, that's alignment. Don't text her to prove your growth. Let your energy do the talking. Don't stalk her page, build your story. Be disciplined, be driven, be dangerous in your calm. Confidence doesn't roar, it whispers. That's what makes her curious again. The truth about female psychology is simple. A man who leads his own life is magnetic. A man who invests in himself, respects his time, and keeps his boundaries high doesn't need to play games. That's not one of those cheap psychology tricks. It's the foundation of how to fall in love with life and make her notice without trying. Remember, women remember men who remember themselves. So, stop giving your power away in texts, calls, or wishful thoughts. Stop explaining your worth, embody it. Be the man whose silence speaks volumes. Be the man who no longer needs her to feel whole. That's when she starts missing you, not because you disappeared, but because you reappeared as someone she can't stop thinking about. The rule is simple. When you stop chasing her, you start upgrading yourself. When you upgrade yourself, she feels the loss. Don't chase, rise. Don't plead, lead. Don't fall apart, build yourself higher. Be that man who makes her wonder, what changed? Because what changed is everything. You stopped needing her and started mastering you. And that, my friend, is the real psychology trick behind attraction. When you fall in love with your life, she falls in love with the man you've become. If you've stopped chasing and started choosing yourself, you've already won. Comment below with power. I am the prize. 8. Emotional maturity in silence, strength that speaks louder than words. Not every battle is fought by talking, and not every wound deserves a speech. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful answer a man can give. When a man reacts to pain with anger, pleading, or emotional outbursts, he exposes his weakness. It shows he's ruled by his emotions, not by reason. But when he steps back, quietly, calmly, and with dignity, he proves mastery over himself. That kind of composure isn't common. It's rare. And women always notice it. After a breakup, she expects drama. She expects you to argue, to chase, or to beg her to stay. That's what she's used to. But when you stay silent, when you simply walk away with peace in your eyes and purpose in your steps, she starts to feel something unexpected. Confusion, curiosity, regret. She begins to wonder, how can a man who cared so much stay so calm now? And that question lingers. It's not your words that haunt her, it's your silence. That's power. Not the power of domination or ego, but the power of control. The high-value man knows his emotions, but he doesn't let them rule him. He understands that silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. A man who remains centered when everything around him is falling apart radiates strength. That's the kind of masculine energy that attracts women effortlessly. Your silence sends a message. My peace matters more than your attention. You stop being the man she dated and start becoming the man she remembers, the one who stood tall when everything went quiet. You don't react. You respond. You don't chase validation. You embody value. A boy reacts. A man responds. That's the line between immaturity and mastery. When you respond with silence, you shift the power dynamic instantly. You're no longer playing her emotional game. You're showing her that you live by your own rules. You're telling her without saying a word that you are focused on your life, your mission, your growth, and that nothing will make you lose your center. That kind of calm shakes her confidence because she expected you to fall apart. Instead, you evolved. That's when your absence becomes louder than her presence. That's when she starts to miss you, not for your words, but for your peace. Understand this. Women are emotionally intuitive. They can sense when a man is desperate and when he is detached. Desperation repels. Detachment attracts. A man who can walk away gracefully holds a different energy. It's the quiet confidence that only a high-value man carries. You must be that man. You must be the one who controls his emotions instead of being controlled by them. Your silence tells her something words never could. It tells her that your world doesn't collapse without her. It tells her that your worth doesn't depend on her validation. And that realization creates a deep psychological shift. She begins to remember you not as the man who begged to stay, but as the man who chose himself. That's unforgettable. So, don't chase what walks away. Don't react to what doesn't respect you. Be calm, be strong, and stay grounded in your purpose. That's how real men move. That's how you stand out. That's how you attract women without even trying. Because silence isn't empty, it's full of meaning. It's the language of power, of maturity, of true masculine energy. The moment you stop explaining yourself and start living with purpose is the moment she begins to realize your value. The truth is simple. The man who can stay silent in chaos is the one every woman eventually misses. That's emotional mastery. That's what separates a man from a boy, and that's what makes you unforgettable. 9. The full circle effect, when she finally realizes what she lost. When a woman truly cared for you, time itself becomes your silent ally. At first, she's caught up in distractions, the new people, the fleeting laughter, the noise of a world that moves too fast. But eventually, the noise fades. The world quiets. And in that silence, her mind returns to you, the man who walked away with strength and dignity. That's when the full circle effect begins. She starts to remember your loyalty, your steady presence, your calm energy, and the way you looked at her like you meant every word. In those quiet moments, a song, a scent, or a place cracks open a memory, and suddenly, it's you she can't escape. Not because she wants to remember you, but because her heart never truly let go. Time filters everything. It strips away illusions and leaves only truth. And the truth is powerful. If your connection was real, it lingers. It seeps into her thoughts when she least expects it. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. That's the essence of Old Stoic wisdom. Control yourself, not others. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't explain. You simply walk away with an iron mind, knowing that distance, silence, and self-respect speak louder than any words. That is Stoicism, to win not by reaction, but by restraint. Understand this. Women remember men who mastered themselves. In the age of constant attention and validation, your silence is rare. Your composure is magnetic. Your absence becomes your greatest presence. When she realizes that you no longer orbit her world, that's when her pride begins to crack. The modern man must learn the art of emotional detachment, not out of bitterness, but out of power. Don't chase love that's meant to remember you. Don't run after someone walking away from their own blessing. Instead, live with purpose. Build yourself. Win in silence. Let your success echo where your words once did. As Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. That is Stoicism win. You must remember this truth. Walking away is not weakness, it's dominance. It's control. It's knowing your worth without demanding recognition. When you step back, the world adjusts. She will miss the calm you brought, the stability you represented, the masculine energy that held firm when she wavered. Don't question her silence, let it work for you. Don't explain your reasons. Let your absence teach her what your presence once gave freely. Let time be your ally and patience your weapon. The man who holds his ground commands respect. The man who walks away on his own terms never loses. That's the iron mind she'll never forget. So, don't text. Don't plead. Don't lower yourself trying to be remembered. Be the man who rises while she's still searching. Be the man whose growth becomes undeniable. Live fully. Travel. Train your body. Discipline your mind. Laugh with freedom. Let her see through the distance what she lost. Because eventually, every woman looks back. Every woman who once felt your strength, your loyalty, your quiet presence, she will remember. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one night, when the world is silent, she'll scroll through old messages, hear that familiar song, or smell your cologne in the air, and it will hit her. The man she took for granted became the man she can't replace. That's the victory of Stoicism, to win without chasing, to conquer without conflict, to lead without speaking. Remember, the old Stoic wisdom still applies in this modern world. Control what you can, release what you can't, and let time work for you. You are not meant to chase validation. You are meant to embody value. So hold your head high. Keep your standards higher. Walk with quiet power, not desperate energy. Let your detachment be your declaration. Because in the end, the man who doesn't beg is the man she never forgets. That's not just heartbreak, that's mastery. That's Stoicism win. That's iron mind. And now we've come to the end. If there's one thing you take from this, Let it be this: the strongest move a man can ever make is walking away quietly, calmly, and with power. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to chase anyone. Because when you walk away with strength, you don't lose her, she loses you. Let her feel the silence. Let her notice your absence. And let your peace become the loudest thing she ever hears. Remember this: a man who respects himself never has to beg to be remembered. If this message hit you, like, subscribe, and share it with another man who needs to hear it. Stay grounded, stay silent, and let her miss the man who finally had the courage to walk away. Take care of yourself, brother. Keep your head high, your heart steady, and never forget your worth. Until next time, stay strong.